What is going on? What is going on? Tony here from LearnAutoBodyAndPaint.com. Sorry for this headcam view. It was supposed to be set on super wide, but it wasn't, so some of the bottom part of the video is cut off. But here we are using the DBC 500, which is a clear base coat. Okay, we're going to be using that as a mid coat, all right, to put our X Finishes Moon Dust White Pearl in to go over our white base coat. So we're turning our white base coat into a pearl by adding a mid coat. Now, you can eliminate this step if you are experienced. You could just basically mix in your pearl or flake into the clear coat. You could just use a clear coat, but the problem with that is if you run it, you're going to have a flake run or a pearl run, which is going to be very hard to fix. You got to let it dry and just reshoot it, sand it out and reshoot it, because once you run that pearl or flake, you can't really take it out. You can't buff it out. You can't sand it out. It's just going to be there. You're going to see it. So you're going to have to wait till that panel dries, sand it down, reshoot base on it, and redo it again. That's the only downfall of going with a clear coat, and mixing your pearl or flake in it. So for a lot of newbies, this is a great way to do it because you can lay your base coat on, right? This is a clear base coat, your mid coat, and not have to worry about running it, because you could spray a few light coats to get your achieved pearl effect. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I made this video. So we're using the Atom X20 high volume low pressure spray gun. I'm just coating our white based mirrors here with some pearl. Very, very quickly. We're going to give everything 2 coats of pearl here, including the top portion of the cab. And then we're going to spray our silver base coat on the bottom portion of the truck, and mask everything up for our centerpiece that's going to be like a teal color. All right, and then we're going to finish it off and then clear coat everything with our Atom X21 spray gun. So just giving you some tips. Hope you enjoyed this video. Keep watching here. The top section of our bed here is also going to be white. So I'm just hitting this with some quick pearl effect, right? Like I said, this is our second pearl coat on the outside using the DBC 500 clear base coat with X Finishes Moon Dust Pearl in it. After this, we're going to be masking it off. Oh, actually, we're going to spray the silver quickly on the bottom because this is going to be a tri-tone paint job. We are not painting, below the door. You could see that we're only doing like the top 1/3 of the door. The middle part is going to be like a teal, and then the bottom is going to be silver. So you're going to see me dust some silver base around the bottom. And another good tip is to always check your paint. You can see that I quickly checked my paint here. You don't want to be painting a full panel and run out right, in the middle of doing a hood or something like that. It's not going to hurt your paint job, but it would be better if you don't run out while you're spraying a large panel. And another thing to remember, you probably already know by now after going through all the trainings in the course, is you can always tack base coat, right? After the base coat dries, you can feel free to tack as much as you want, but you never want to tack clear coat in between clear coats. So because this is still a base coat stage, right? I don't think I showed you on video, but I actually tacked the lower section of the truck before I sprayed this base coat. All right, so we're mixing a 1-to-1 ratio. I'm using an Omni base. I think I paid about 30 bucks for this quart of base, which is not bad. 30 to 40 bucks. Omni's a good brand. You know, it's a cheaper brand of PPG. Great brand, great base coats. I highly recommend them if you're looking for affordable paints. Nason is also good if you want to work with the DuPont. Nason is a cheaper version of DuPont's. So we're mixing our base here, and we're going to spray the lower third of the truck. And then we're going to wait for that to dry, then mask off for our center piece. All right. And another thing is most base coats are a 1-to-1 mixture. Keep that in mind. And I also go by consistency. So I like to count the drips and see the consistency of the paint while I'm mixing. So I had to add just a pinch of bitter reducer here to get the consistency that I want. But if you don't know how to go by consistency and drops and just by looking at the paint like this, normally it's 1-to-1, and maybe you're going to want to add 5%, 8% extra reducer during some times, especially if you want to stretch the base, you're running out, and you just need a little extra base to spray with. You could reduce it down 10% extra, no problem. Now what I'm doing here is narrowing my fan down just a little, as you can see, a little bit more narrow, about a 4 to 5 inch fan pattern I want, because a lot of the pieces that I'm going to be painting on the truck here are smaller pieces. So I want to concentrate my paint so I don't waste a lot of paint on a big fan pattern, you know what I mean? So I'm just concentrating on below the line here is going to be silver. So it's just that you'll see exactly when I start masking it up, but it's just the lower portion of the truck, the side, the small, 2.5, 3 inch piece of the bed there, that's all going to be silver. So I don't need a huge 10 to 12 inch fan pattern to spray that. So I narrowed it down to about 5 inches. And when you narrow a fan down, right, your pressure is going to be streamlined to that fan pattern. So you're going to have to lower your air pressure, right? So you may want to go from 26 to 24 psi if you're going to narrow your fan pattern down to 3 to 5 inches. You know what I mean? If you make it, if you're making your fan pattern to a point, you're going to see how much pressure it's going to come out at, because you're just condensing that 12 inch fan pattern into a 2 inch fan pattern, which shoots out the air at more of a pressure. So you're going to always want to lower your pressure down when you're narrowing your fan pattern. That's why you see me testing all the time with my hand. I always test out and feel the air pressure coming out by hand. That's one way that I test without looking at the gauge. You could test by feel of air pressure on your hand, and also by the tone of the air pressure coming out. You could just hear it and know what the exact pressure is. You know what I mean? Once you start painting and you realize, some of you may know already what I'm talking about, but if you're a total newbie, you may not understand, but you will. As the more you paint, the more you will actually be able to adjust by feel and by tone. You don't need the gauge. You just go by feel and by tone and know that that's the correct air pressure to spray at, which is really cool. It comes in handy. I've actually been using this method for 15 years by now, over 15 years now. So I really don't need to look at the gauge at this point. Just giving that information out. Maybe you can relate, maybe not, but sooner or later you will. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little segment here to learn more about Learn Auto Body and Paint DIY. Check out learnautobodyandpaint.com. Grab a free 85-page auto body manual, some video trainings, and if you want to dig deep, you want to learn more, check out Learn Auto Body VIP. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.